guys, my name's Soph, also known as Soph here on YouTube, over on Instagram and on TikTok. This is my corner of the internet where I just talk all about cross stitch. Sometimes I'll talk about other crafts such as needle punch or embroidery, but mainly cross stitch. Yeah, we'll just get into it. So this is probably my longest standing WIP at the moment. It's Mushrooms by SamXStitch. So this is a PDF pattern I bought from Etsy, and this is what it'll look like fully completed. And this is my progress. So I'm actually loving this. I had to put it down because I nearly finished all of the mushrooms. As you can see, these are the 2 new mushrooms I've put in, but isn't that mushroom just the cutest? I mean, absolutely gorgeous. I think this is my favourite one to date. It's just very elegant. Don't know the names of those mushrooms, unfortunately. But yes, I think I've got 6 more to cross stitch and then I'm done. So I'm hoping to put 2 more in by the next time we speak, and then I think that'll probably take me up to 2, 4, 6, I'm doing my maths. 6 weeks time should be a finish on this one if I keep up with my 1 per week. But who knows, I might get kind of addicted and knock this one out of the park. So just a close-up of all my stitching here. So this is stitched on natural beige linen, 28 count from Stitch Bunny shop. I'm actually loving this material to stitch on. It's lovely, and just the effect on it afterwards is so nice. So yeah, that's that one. The second WIP I've got to show you is this pattern. It's called, I believe it's either Freddie, Mercury or Queen by Unique Stitch Crafts. Now it's not available in a store anymore. I think I bought it on the 1st of January. And it's no longer available. So I started this on the 8th of April. This is what it looked like when I last showed you, and this is my progress at the moment. So as you can see, I've done quite a lot of his arm, started his jacket and his body here, and I've finished the colours in this top corner, and I just need to fill in the Q and finish filling in the U. I really don't know what's happened here because it's white, but it looks darker in places. I think my stitching might have got a bit dirty when I was because I took this out and I was stitching it out and about, so definitely going to give that a bit of a wash when it comes to the end. I try not to wash my stitches because it can sometimes shrink them, but I'll just give it a good old wash in the bath once I've finished, and hopefully that'll come out, because if I'm honest, I really do not want to restitch it. It's so lovely, the outcome on this, but the amount of stitching you have to do in one colour in a block can get quite tedious. So this is why it's taken me a little while to do this one, but it's good mindful stitching. You don't have to think about it. You know, I could take this out with just white and sit there and stitch and not have to look at a pattern. So yeah, that's one thing I really like about it. Once you've got sections of blank to fill in, you can just take it out and do what you want without a pattern. Because I'm stitching this in markup XP, it's split into 4, so this is the top left of the pattern. So I'm hoping I can get this bit finished in the next 2 weeks and maybe move on to the bottom left and yeah, make a start on that. But I'm loving this and the effect. Yeah, I just really like it. It's stitched on Zweigart 18 count white Ada, just because it's a full coverage. I didn't think we needed to go for any different colour at all. Apologies, I haven't ironed it. You can see where it's been in the Nerge hoop, but that'll come out in the wash and when I've ironed it. So yeah, if any of you have had problems like this before, let me know. I'm really hoping I don't have to unstitch it, but I'll roll with it and see what happens. So this is the 3rd WIP that I've been working on. This is the first SAL that I've ever started, and I wouldn't say competed in then, I don't think it's a competition, participated in, and I'm actually really enjoying it. So it's called the Wanderer SAL, and it's by Quarter Neon Creations. So this is an antiques cabinet that you stitch and then you fill it up each month with a new city in a bottle. So I'll show you where I am. So the last time I showed you, I don't think I had the full border stitched, but it's quite a big one. There you go. So I didn't have this part of the border stitched, so I finished off the ink bottle here, So it's all black work. You do have a bit of cross stitch in it. So the border's all finished, and then that's the first release, which was Venice. Then there's Cairo, and just realised a stitch has come loose there, so I'm going to have to stitch that back up. And then this is the newest release, which is New York, and it got released with this time, what are they called? I can't remember the name of them. But yeah, so this is released, this is New York, and I absolutely loved stitching this one. It's probably my favourite one to date. Just look at the flag on the top, and just the shape of the bottle's incredible. So I absolutely love this one. So that's looking great. So I've done the top bit, and I think it takes a whole year for them to be released. So I'm eagerly awaiting the next one that will be released on the 13th of July. So yeah. Me and my partner are trying to guess what city is next. I'm thinking it's going to be Dubai, potentially Paris. And I know you can't really have two guesses, but I think both of them are going to come up. I have a funny feeling it's going to be Paris next. So I'm going to go Paris. If anyone wants to guess what's coming next, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see if any of you guess it right. My partner, what did he think? He thinks it's Istanbul. So we shall see. I'll let you know. I'm sure by the next time I speak to you guys, just trying to think. Yeah, by the next time I speak to you guys, the next bottle should have been released. Maybe not stitched, but yeah, released for you. So if you want to have a look at that, have a look at the hashtag the Wanderer SAL, or have a look at Quarter Neon Creations on Instagram or on Etsy. It's been really nice to get to grips with black work and just to see how patterns emerge compared to cross stitch. But yeah, definitely worth a go, so go check that out. This is the fourth and final WIP that I'll be showing you today. The fifth one, which is Eclipse by Carolyn, hasn't been touched for the last 2 weeks, so this is why I'm not showing it to you. There's no reason, I've just been picking up other ones and thoroughly enjoying them. I'm sure I'll come back to the Carolyn one. I'm hoping when I get a few finishes and I get a few less WIPs, I'll have more time to stitch, but you know, I'm already going to get you to vote on what pattern you want me to stitch next, so we shall see on that one. So this is WIP number 4, and this is called The Widow Frog by Night Spirit Studio. So this is what the pattern will look like when it's finished. This is where I was last time I showed you, and this is where I am now. So I've picked up this recently and I can't stop. I absolutely love stitching this one. There is a bit of a mistake that I did last night while I was watching TV late last night, and when I found the mistake I was like, right, it's time to go to bed. So this bit here should be in line here, and then that bit a little bit higher. So I just need to unpick this little section, or frog, if you will, this little section. And I've noticed that there's a frogging tool in the frame up there, so I think it's fitting that I'm going to frog a section of this pattern, considering there's a frogging tool here and this gorgeous lady is a frog. So, you know, I'm not going to see it as a bad thing. I'm just going to sit down today, unpick it, frog it, and then restitch it. It won't take me too long. So this is The Widow Frog by Night Spirit Studio. Started it on the 8th of May. I've picked it up recently because of Stitch for Sage. If you're unaware of the Night Spirit Studio, Sage is the artist who does all the kits. She's actually battling cancer at the moment. So our lovely cross-stitch community got together and decided to put a hashtag together to support, and it's called hashtag Stitch for Sage, and it was encouraging people to pick up WIPs that they had of Night Spirit Studio to stitch, or buy new patterns which would support more. So I have bought new patterns which I'll show you in my haul, and I decided to pick up this lovely lady and continue stitching her. But I think it won't be too long and I will get a finish. I think I'm aiming for that this week, so hopefully by the next time you see her she'll be finished. And I'm aiming to get a specific like ornate gothic frame for her, just so she can be put behind me here. I am 74.4% complete with this pattern. And like I said, I'm going to push for a finish on this one. But I mean, look at that lamp. She's sitting on a little lily pad here, and there's going to be some more water there, and obviously her head and her husband's going to be in here too. Right now she's the headless widow frog, but not for long. Not today, Satan. Not today. So in my last video I showed you this pattern, which is Be Kind by Lazy Daisy Cross Stitch, and I've actually kitted up for this. I haven't started it yet, but I've got the fabric for it and all the DMC. In this little packet here, we've got all the DMC that we need to stitch it. And this fabric is from Stash. I really can't remember what shop I bought it from. It was on Etsy, I know that much, and it was for a cat cross stitch I was stitching for my friend a long time ago, and it just didn't suit it to me. It really didn't. But this is like so 70s tie-dye. I thought it'd be good for like Halloween, but I thought with the Be Kind and like a 70s sort of style in the background, it fits so well. Like this is, I love it. So it's called 14 Count Ada Pumpkin Patch. So if you search that on Etsy, you might be able to find it, but I couldn't for the life of me find it on my purchases and things. So I don't know what I've done with that. But this is going to be for the Be Kind Lazy Daisy cross stitch. So hopefully I would have made a start and I'll be able to show you that next time. So if you haven't watched my last video, go check that out. But also the Be Kind pattern is actually for free. If you sign up to Lazy Daisy cross stitch mailing list, they will send you this pattern for free, and I just thought it's such a lovely cute pattern. And like I showed you before, I've got a little Be Kind tattoo here, and I just thought it was really fitting. So if you haven't noticed already, I am in the same spot I was filming last week, 2 weeks ago, but I've actually now got a sofa bed. And this is going to be my office where I sit and film, and I will be putting in some cross stitches when I get completed, all behind my head, just so you've got something to look at apart from my ugly mug. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. So that is going to be one of them that's going to be up behind there. Moving into haul, there's not a lot that I want to show you, but I do have some bits because I'm addicted to cross stitch, and yeah, that's what I buy. So the first thing is this lovely table stand. So it's got like a half moon base, and then it's got adjustable stand, and it comes with a hoop which you can take out. I hate the feel of like unvarnished wood though. Yeah, it goes through me a little bit, but I've kind of got used to it over the years of holding hoops and things, but it's still a bit Anyway, so this comes apart. You can put the fabric in the hoop and then put it back in here, and it just stands on your table so you can cross stitch. And the reason I got it is because you can flip it, so you can flip your pattern so you can get to the back of it. And the reason I wanted that is because I want to start filming me doing my cross stitches on a table, doing like instruction videos and things like that, and for my kits that I sell, and also for TikTok and things like that. So this is perfect for that. This was bought from Amazon. I'll link it below. I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of the cheapest ones. The only problem is it's not the most sturdy. When it's laid flat, it is a little bit wobbly. So I think I'm just going to put either a heavy book on there or sticky back, double-sided sticky tape, just to stop it from wobbling so much when I'm stitching. But that arrived on Saturday, so I'm yet to try that out yet. So the next bit of my haul is probably no surprise to you guys. You've probably seen it in all my pictures on Instagram and when I've been showing you things on this channel. So I've got some more Nerge hoops. It's like a little perfect space for my head. Okay, I am getting a little bit weird on these videos, but you'll get used to me, I promise. So this is number 3 Nerge size. This is like a perfect size for me. They do bigger, but the bigger one I'll use on like the Quarter Neon Wanderer SAL. Yeah, this is number 3, and I just love the green. The a green colour. I think it's a new release. So is the purple colour. And this is the number 2, 165mm, and then this one's 220mm. So these I just love to stitch with instead of other hoops, because it just gives you that bit extra than a circle does, and you don't have to move your fabric so much. Those 2 hoops I bought from Etsy. I think I bought them from Luca S. But yeah, I needed them because I've got 5 WIPs on the go, and I didn't have a hoop, an urge hoop for each one. So I was like, I don't want to keep changing them when I want to stitch. Obviously I take them out once I've not been stitching on for a while, but I wanted one in each like WIP bag, just so I can whip it out and stitch on it. So those 2. So the next things I bought are a couple of needle minders. So like I said, with the nerd hoops, I didn't have enough needle minders to cover all of the WIPs, and it's just an excuse to buy more, isn't it? And they're so pretty and I love them. And I don't need to even justify why I bought them. I bought them, and these are the new needle minders that I've got. So this is the first one. Can you see that? So it's just lovely little needle minder with mountains, the sun and the moon, and if you turn it upside down there's like trees and things like that. And it's quite a big one compared to the ones that I've got, and it's so strong. The magnets on these are insanely strong. This was bought from the Bad Shack UK, and it came with this little backing. So this is, I absolutely love this needle minder. This little lady, she's great. So she's got all like the moon phases on her, her little ladybird, and she's my absolute favourite. The reason I bought her, whenever I see a ladybird I think of my mum, who's passed away, and she was called Joanne, and I recently found out that in Portugal the name for ladybird is Little Joanne, and I just thought that was absolutely, it blew my mind a little bit. There's reasons behind why I think about ladybirds, and it's a really long story. But yeah, I've got that little one because I'm stitching the widow frog for my mum. She absolutely loved frogs, so I needed this to go on next to her, and just makes me think of my mum every time I stitch it. So yeah, that's my little ladybird. So they're the 2 needle minders that I've bought. I did want to go through my other needle minders that I have, because I don't think I've ever shown them to you, and I'll go through them after the haul. So this needle minder is from the same place, so the Bad Shack UK, and yeah, they are the 2 needle minders that I've bought. I also bought from Hobbycraft this water soluble canvas. It's Ada 14 count, and it's so you can stitch onto clothing. So I've bought this and I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to cross stitch some flowers or, you know, some mushrooms onto a pair of dungarees that I've got, just to brighten them up a bit, give them a bit more style. But I'm going to try it out. So apparently when you stitch onto it and then you put it in water afterwards, the canvas just fades away and it like goes gloopy and then disappears. So you're just left with the cross stitch on the actual clothing. So that's going to be something I try next. And I'm really excited to do that actually. I'm thinking about potentially tie-dyeing stuff and then putting it on there, so we shall see. Hopefully the next time I speak to you guys I would have tried that out at least, but they're quite small. They're like £7 for 20 by 22 centimeters, so I don't want to just like waste them, so I'm gonna be as careful as possible with this this canvas, and yeah, I will let you know the results. So the last thing on my haul is of course some new patterns. I didn't have enough, right? So there's 4 national parks in total. They're by a company called Phunky Phresh Products, and Phunky and Phresh is spelled with PHs. So the first one is Yosemite, Yellowstone, and then Great Smoky Mountains and the Grand Canyon. So these patterns are all 86 by 50 stitches. So they're going to be quite small patterns, depending on what like size Ada or size fabric that you want to stitch on, and I just thought it'd be really nice to have all 4 in like a frame or framed differently, like just sat on the wall behind me. So I love all the American national parks. I love all the UK national parks. I just love national parks in general. How many times can I say national park in one sentence? There you go. I have already stitched one with buffalo in, Badlands, and I've got another one with buffaloes in that I need to stitch, which is the Great Sand Dunes, and I'm just obsessed with them. Like I've said before, we've got like a Western kind of theme going on in our house, and it's just, I just love the landscapes, and they're just going to be really small ones, and I thought they'd be really cool to stitch. The other bit of haul are these project bags. So I bought these from Amazon. I think they come in a pack of 5. And they've got different colours on the top, so I think there's like green, red, yellow, black, and they're quite large, so they're good for large projects, but they're just quite affordable compared to like really fancy WIP bags, and I will get them eventually. I like supporting like independent like artists and things like that on Etsy, but I just wanted something that I could fit all my WIPs into, and they all organised away, so I got a couple of these just for, you know, affordability and ease really. So I've also bought these 2 patterns, and these were bought for Stitch for Sage. The first one is called Winter Mausoleum 3, so I think there's 3, I don't think there's any more than 3. She's done a few winter mausoleums, and this is my favourite one, so I thought this would be a perfect Christmas stitch, because I'm not a huge Christmas cross stitcher. So I just thought it's kind of gothic and it's got snow on it, so I could get away with this being a Christmas one. So this is that pattern. It's a PDF pattern I bought from her Etsy store, and the next one I bought from her is called the Victorian Mourning Willow. This is fantastic. I absolutely love this one. Just, yeah, what can I say? She makes fantastic patterns, so go please check her out if you haven't already. She's also got a Patreon that I'm a part of. Obviously with her, you know, fighting cancer at the moment, it's not being updated, which is completely understandable. But please, there's like a backlog of patterns on there that you have access to. The Widow Frog is one of them, and yeah, if you're paying money towards her each month, it's helping her, you know, pay for her bills in, you know, America. Unfortunately, you have to pay for those things over there. So that's all of the haul I wanted to go through. I did want to show you my collection of needle minders. I showed you the 2 that I bought earlier from the Bad Shack UK, and the others I'm going to show you are from the Stitching Den. So I got a bit obsessed by buying from them, and these needle minders are really good. They're not as strong as the Bad Shack UK ones, but that's not a bad thing. So the first one is this one from Stitching Den, and it's a planchette, and it's got a Ouija board written on it, and then yes or no. And the best thing about it is it can be used as a floss drop as well. So the magnet's here, you can put your needle on here, and then you can just thread some threads through there that you're working on, and yeah, it's perfect. It's quite a big one, so I don't tend to use it that often, but yeah, if you're using a, you know, doing a big piece, that one could come in handy. So that's the first one. This is the second one. This is probably one of my faves. This is a little camper van. I can't show you, there you go. This is a little camper van, and it's got mountains in the background and the sun, and yeah, I just love the colour. Orange is one of my favourite colours, and you can see like trees in the background and like clouds and stuff. And we have a little VW camper van that we go camping in, and I just thought it was perfect. Unfortunately ours is blue and it's not orange, but I wish I was orange, to be honest, but it costs too much to get it sprayed. So there's that one. This tiny little cloud, and he's just so happy that he's a cloud, and yeah, that he likes to rain on people. He just loves his life with his little red rosy cheeks. So that's one I got because I live in Wales and we have clouds all the time, rain clouds mostly. Apart from recently, actually, it's been really warm and dry. And last but not least, you'll probably sense a theme with my needle minders, but there's this moon, and inside is a little cabin, and then trees and some mountains and a sun. And I just absolutely love this. I think this is the first one I bought. The best thing about the Stitching Den, when you buy anything from them, they send you love hearts, which I love. That little added extra when you open a package and you're like, oh my god, sweet. So they are all my needle minders. I'll put all the links to them below, but as I said, they were bought from either the Stitching Den or the Bad Shack UK. So I would like you guys to vote on what WIP I stitch next. So I've got so many different patterns, and if you do want to see them all, I've got 30 plus patterns on PDF, and then I've got paper patterns. I was thinking I could do a little slideshow for you all of all the patterns I've got, but I've picked 3 that I want to stitch next, and rather than bore my partner with it like I usually do, I thought I'd ask you guys that'd be interested to vote on what patterns I should stitch next. The first one is called Pink and Sun Landscape by Crystal Feather Crafts, and it looks like this. So this is the first option, option number 1. Option number 2 is the lovely pattern from Night Spirit Studio, which is Victorian Mourning Willow. And then the third pattern is another willow pattern, but it's this blue willow pattern from a book that I showed you a couple of episodes ago. So I'd like you to vote either 1, 2 or 3. Let me know in the comments which ones you want me to stitch, and if you have any ideas of fabric you think that would look really nice with it, you know, any different threads rather than the called fors, let me know. And yeah, it'd be fun for you guys to contribute to my next WIP, because I'm struggling on what to stitch next because I've got so much choice. Yeah, so they are the options, so let me know what you think and we will go from there. So there's been a few people I've been watching on FlossTube that I'm going to talk about now. I do have to limit myself when it comes to FlossTube, especially when people have very similar tastes to me with patterns, because I just get so addicted to wanting to buy them. And like I said earlier, I've got so many patterns that I need to stitch already. I can't keep adding to my list, even though I do. But the more I watch FlossTube, the more I want to add. So I'll go through a couple of FlossTubers I've been watching who have been influencing me on, you know, patterns I want to stitch in the future, and they're in a list rather than me just buying them straight away. So I guess that's what we're all here for, right? To be influenced. So the first one is the Museum Stitcher. So I loved hearing all about StitchCon from you. I wasn't bored of it like you thought everyone would be. I'm so jealous that I don't live in America and didn't get to go. I've even considered flying out there to do StitchCon, but I don't know if that's feasible. You know, we do have retreats and things over here, so I'm going to go to my first couple of retreats here and then maybe think about StitchCon. We shall see. Any excuse to go to America and actually buy really nice stuff from Michael's and, you know, all the local stores you've got. We don't have hardly any of that over in the UK. And well done as well on your finish at StitchCon. You got to ring the bell, which seems really exciting to me. So the next person, probably one of the first people I started watching on FlossTube. It's the Huga Stitcher. I absolutely love looking at all of your finishes and your work. If you guys haven't checked both of these ladies out, please go have a look at them. They're a lot more well known than me on YouTube, so I'm sure you've seen them before you've even seen my channel, but for whatever reason, if you haven't, please go check them out. But the Huga Stitcher is doing a zodiac sign cross stitch at the moment, but a tiny modernist one. She's just stitching them when it is like the zodiac sign. So, you know, Capricorn. Obviously I'm going to say Capricorn because I'm a Capricorn. So in January she'll be stitching Capricorn, going into Aquarius, etc. But it's so lovely, and it's something that I might have to steal and do next year, because I like the idea of doing that each season. So definitely looking into doing that, potentially starting in January, starting with Capricorn, because they're the best sign, right? I'm only joking. There's lots of other good signs, but I'm just biased and I love being a Capricorn. But yeah, that's it for mentions at the moment. So many lovely people on Instagram that I follow and I just love seeing everyone's stitches. One thing I would like to encourage people to do as well, please let me know in the comments what you're stitching on. So I sit here and rattle on about everything that I'm stitching, but I'm really interested in what you guys have got on the go. So please let me know what WIPs you've got, what patterns you want to stitch in the future. If there's any that you've seen on here that you've now started stitching, please let me know. I'd love to see it. Or hear about it. So yeah, get in touch either on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah, it'd be nice to hear from you guys. So that's it for my stitchy updates. If that's all you've tuned in for today, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for getting this far. You can switch off now if you like. I'm just going to go through like 2 things that I've been watching. So if you want to stick around for that, please do. But if not, I will catch you on the next one. So I've been watching a little bit of TV here and there. I tried to get back into my audiobooks and just sitting in silence when I stitch, which is quite difficult sometimes. Sometimes you just want something mindless on the TV to watch, but these 2 things I've been watching aren't very mindless, and I'd probably rewatch them and rewatch them again. So the first one is Black Mirror. I was so excited for Black Mirror season 7, I think it is, to come out. And it didn't disappoint. They were all fantastic in their own right. There was some that I can't stop thinking about and were harrowing, of course. I won't like spoil anything because I know there's people who I'm friends with that haven't watched it yet and may watch this. And I bet you there's a lot of people out there who haven't got around to watching it yet. So I won't go into detail about any of them. This is me trying to think of which one I preferred. I can't choose which one is the best. The best one for me that still stands out, even to this day, is San Junipero. It's my favourite love story in the world. I probably watched that episode over 50 times. So if you haven't watched it, please go check that out. The other thing that I have watched, finally, I've been told to watch this for God knows how long, is Stand By Me, the film. So it's an old film, I think it was made in the 80s, and it's got River Phoenix as a kid, and it is just a little adventure story about 4 boys, all friends, that go on this mission to find this dead body. And it's just about their friendship, and they're 12-year-old boys, and it's just about their friendship and how they are before girls come along and they discover girls, and just how important friendships are at that age and how you'll never have friendships like that again in your life. And it's not really about the dead body they go and have a look at, it's about their adventure getting there. And they're all a bit messed up from their families, and it's just they go through a lot together, a lot of emotion. And one of the kids is a writer, and he's telling the story, he's written the story later on in life. And it's just lovely, and I enjoyed it so much. I think I was waiting up for Johnny to finish one of his gigs. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning I finished, and it was just so nice to just stay up stitching, waiting for Johnny and watching such a lovely film. So I really enjoyed that one. Definitely will watch again soon. And one of the things that really made me love it even more is I got to the end and it mentioned that it was based on a novella by Stephen King, and Stephen King is one of my favourite authors, was one of my mum's favourite authors, and she left me a lot of her his books in her will, so I have a place in my heart for Stephen King. But it's based on the novella called The Body by him, so I'm definitely going to be reading that next. I'm probably really late on the bandwagon, everyone's probably watched it, but it's just one of those films that I'm glad I've watched, and I will tell everyone that I've watched and get everyone else who hasn't watched it to watch it because it was so good. But yeah, that's everything I've been watching at the moment. I'm still reading The Great Circle. I'm getting through it quite slowly. In the past, I've just been, when I read books and I'm really into them, I just read until they're finished, and that is the only thing I do. So I'm trying to, you know, read a bit here and there in the mornings and not get too addicted to it that everything else falls by the wayside. I can only be that addicted to cross stitch at the moment. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. I think I'm almost 60% of the way through that, and I'm just about to start a new book on Audible. I've got a credit for a new book on Audible. I haven't got it yet. If you've got any recommendations of any good audiobooks that you think I should read, please comment below and I will get into that rather than watching any more TV, just because I want to be sitting out in this garden in this weather, getting this pasty skin a bit more freckly. But that's everything from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in 2 weeks' time. And yeah, happy stitching, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.